Hi everyone, this is Grant Evans with Coldwell Banker Realty, your favorite Utah realtor. Today I'm here with Steven Seiler of Guarantee Rate Affinity, the preferred mortgage lender of Coldwell Banker. It's official, Utah is now the number one state in the union. US News came out with the rankings just recently of each state of where they're at, and they put Utah as number one. But before we get started on that, Steven, could you give a little pitch to everyone of kind of who you are and your background and everything?
I'm Steven Seiler with Guaranteed Rates, Guarantee Rate Affinity. Been with them for a little while, and we're just a preferred lender for Coldwell Banker, so we're here to take care of you guys.
Awesome. Steven is also a former professional MMA fighter with the UFC, and so if anybody needs any fighting lessons, I'm sure Steven would be happy to.
I'm here to help protect you in mortgages and in life.
There you go. Awesome. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to look at is the crime and corrections. Utah was ranked number 15 across the country. So how they do that, so it's based on corrections outcomes and public safety. So my opinion on that, I think Utah is actually a pretty safe state. I'm surprised that we got ranked as low as 15 because I feel like anywhere, I mean, there's certain parts of Utah I feel like you don't want to be in, but for the majority, I think Utah's pretty safe.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of crimes they're talking. Are they talking about stealing, or are they talking about hate crimes or anything like that? Because I really do feel safe anywhere. There's not a place in Utah that I would go and be afraid to leave my keys in my car.
I think the most common crime would probably be like property damage.
Okay.
Like theft. I know that people they'll leave their garage door open, and somebody might come in and steal, like some golf clubs or something like that.
Yeah, nothing too big though. Yeah, Utah's not. I think a lot of people move to Utah to be safer.
Yeah, if anybody's thinking of moving to Utah, usually the west side of Salt Lake, West Valley, the Rose Park area by the airport, those are the cities that are most likely going to be in the news compared to any other cities. There will be a couple like bedroom communities like Springville that I live in that'll be on the news for some incident, but that doesn't mean that it's an unsafe place. It's just a tragic occurrence. Going on to number 2 is economy. I think it's well known over the country that Utah has the best economy. We were rated number 1 across the country. So how economy is figured out is business environment, employment, and growth. I think Utah really excels a lot of those. I think it's really easy to start a business in Utah. We have one of the lowest unemployment rate in the country. And we always are growing because so many people start businesses in Utah that they're constantly hiring. And they're not just like low paying jobs either. Like there's a lot of tech companies that start. The first thing that comes to mind is like a company like Purple, even though they're not a tech company. They're just, I think of Lehigh and Silicon Slopes and everything around tech, being in that Salt Lake, northern Utah County area.
Yeah, but they have lots, like you said, a lot of growing businesses. Solar is a big one in Utah. They have a lot of growing businesses in Utah. So
yeah, that's great. So the third thing is education, which is number 5. So on education, they figured out based on higher education, so college, and then anywhere from preschool to senior year of high school. So we're ranked number 5, which I think is really good. I know of a lot of people that come from back east that there's a lot more private schools than anything else really than Utah. But I'm really impressed with public education, and even like we've got schools like BYU that's really competitive to get into really any major, any bachelor's degree, or super competitive for masters and PhDs. We've got the University of Utah. The first thing that comes to mind is like the University of Utah Medical Department, that you've got fantastic doctors that come out of there. You've got Utah State, wonderful school. We've got Southern Utah down in Cedar City. We got Utah Tech. There's a lot of
Utah Valley.
Utah Valley, where I graduated. Weber State, Westminster. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's so many good education opportunities. And I think one thing too is that those schools, all these schools, have really good connections with any Utah company. Utah companies want to hire graduates from Utah schools because they have a better connection with alumni and whatnot from there.
Yep. Yeah, I know a lot of people come out here for athletics as well. I mean, football, wrestling. A lot of people come out here to go to college at UVU and BYU, Utah. So Utah's a very good educational place.
Yeah, well, even like BYU right now, they're getting a ton of people from the transfer portal, and just Utah I feel like in history, Utah's never been a place to where I want to go play football, or I mean, you still had BYU football back in the day, but it's not on the same standard as Alabama or
Florida,
State, yeah, all those schools. And now entering the Big 12, I think that's going to change education even more dramatically, because we're going to have that more national presence than we used to. Fiscal stability. So that is pretty much government help. So how U.S. News ranked it was long-term fiscal stability and short-term fiscal stability. So just really like help from the government. That was ranked number 1 across the country. I think that's cool. You mentioned a couple of things you like.
Plenty of grants, Ogden grants. We have COP grants. We have a lot of different counties, just different grants, just helping people get into their first homes, or even other homes. Just try to help with their financial help.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think the Utah really takes care of the well-being of their citizens, and they do a good job at it. Obviously, they're number 1. Healthcare, we were ranked number 7, which is very good, I think. So healthcare, how U.S. News weighed it. So that's the heaviest weighed topic: healthcare access, healthcare quality, and public health. So number 7 across the country. I think that's really good. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is Intermountain Health, the biggest hospital in Utah, or at least on the mountain region right now too, I think. They do a great job. I have a brother who's a nurse there, and they take really good care of their patients, and they have a lot of patients, as an attribute. So I really like Utah's healthcare. I think they do a good job.
Yeah, I mean, I've always tried to avoid going to the hospital, but every time, after a fight when I have to get stitched up, they take care of me. So
yeah, I'm sure they understand going through fights and stuff like that. So being at the Maverick Center, a lot of fights and stuff like that too. Okay, infrastructure, number 4. Utah. The one thing that I love about Utah is that they are able to keep their old buildings back. Like, there's still a lot of homes that are built when the pioneers came, and I think they just do a really good job at updating things and making sure that things still work. That you go to downtown Salt Lake, you still have like old hotels that are still and you got the Salt Lake Temple, that's 200 years old, and they're going through a massive remodel. And I think they just really prioritize making sure that the state looks nice with their architecture and their buildings.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so the second to last one is natural environment. So this was one of the worst categories that Utah was in. If anybody's thinking of moving to Utah, just know natural environment. Even though you're living in the mountains, doesn't mean you get mountain air all the time. So natural environment consisted of air and water quality and pollution. We're the number 46, ranked number 46. So what is that, 4th worst, 5th worst? That's pretty bad. So right now we've got the wildfire from Canada. That's what I hear. The smoke is coming in to the valley. And if anybody's familiar, so what happens, Utah's pretty much a bowl. I don't know if you've seen Ice Age: The Meltdown, the second one. Yeah. So you have like the smoke that comes in, it just sits. It doesn't go anywhere until there's a big storm that comes in, and then it kind of blows it away. If you're on the Wasatch Back, like if you get behind the mountains, you're gonna have better air quality, just because that's where the mountain air is. Any thoughts on national environment?
I mean, you can look out there, you see how foggy it is every day, so.
Yeah. If you can't see the mountains, it's bad today.
Something's not good.
If you can see the mountains, it's good. So, opportunity. Opportunity was number 20. Let's see, they say that opportunity is affordability, economic opportunity, and equality. I know affordability is kind of the main hang up when it comes to Utah. I mean, we're still ranked, in the top 50% of the country. A problem that you and I see a lot with housing is you can make, like we were saying, $40,000 a year.
Yep,
no debt. Still can't buy anything unless you're okay with maybe like a condo.
And even then, it's kind of rough with an HOA and all that. So, I mean, It's definitely a two-people income type environment right now. No matter where you live, but Utah's probably right down in the middle. They're not quite as bad as California, but not as easy as the East Coast.
Yeah. So Utah has some of the best economy, one of the best education, government help, healthcare, infrastructure. It's pretty good on crime and corrections compared to other states, but it compares to be the worst. a natural environment, the air quality, and then affordability looks like we're starting to get worse and worse year after year. So, but since we do have a great economy, I would assume that more people do have an opportunity to make more money.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of jobs and a lot of opportunities to really grow and develop as an individual and a business.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Well, thanks you guys for watching today. Remember to subscribe to the channel, Grant Evans Real Estate. Thank you, Stephen, for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, remember to like and subscribe and show this video with your friends. Thanks for watching.